Here we go. We back at it, just like that.
Court, I think if my math right, this is your 5th straight year to be captain. Is that math right? What's that mean?
I think so. Something like that. Man, it's truly a blessing. I know, everybody says that it's a blessing to, do whatever it may be. But, I told the guys at the dinner how grateful I was for them electing me a captain, somebody that could, go out and be a leader for this team. And it's something that I don't carry lightly. It's something that, I understand the weight that it carries and the responsibilities that come with it. And I told the guys as well, they're going to get everything I got day in and day out, whether it's in the meetings, at practice. If somebody got, a question about a concept in between plays, whatever it may be in the weight room, whatever it may be, I'm going out every day trying to be the best version of myself for me and for all my teammates. We got a great team, and all the guys that were elected captains, I think we all echoed the same message. Just because guys aren't wearing a C on their chest doesn't mean they can't lead in their own respective roles. Everybody has a role to play on this team. Everybody that made the 53, every guy that made the practice squad, everyone has a role to carry out on this team, and it's on each individual to chase that 1% every single day.
Court, beyond the roster and the skill set of the roster, what excites you most about being a part of this team?
Man, shoes. I think spending as much time as I have with the guys since OTAs up until this point, man, we got guys that love football. We have a team full of guys that love football, and I think no one would hesitate to say that we have a group of guys who hate losing more than they like winning. And when you got a group of guys that want to compete at that level, and you look at how we went into OTAs with the competitive mindset, we went into this training camp that we just had with the competitive mindset, the way the guys just worked out here at practice, the scout team, whether offense or defense or special teams, giving each other the best looks that we possibly can, you can tell that there's just a desire to want to be great, a desire to want to push each other to be, the best versions of each other's selves, and that's all we can ask for. How can you help yourself and help your brother get 1% better?
Courtland was a guy who came in from San Francisco, proved himself pretty quickly as one of the leaders.
Yeah.
What does it say to you that he came in this March and so quickly became one of the guys that everyone looks to?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, to be honest with you. Huff is actually my locker mate, and I've got to spend a lot of time talking to Huff, picking his brain, just about, not just about football, just about life, and just seeing how his perspective on life. And the dude he lives his life with an attitude of gratitude, and that's something I got taught and at a young age, but I would say it got echoed really, really heavily in college. We had a coach who was really big on that mindset of having an attitude of gratitude, and if you can carry a day-to-day with that mindset, man, you can go far. And Huff's one of those people. He comes to work every day, and he's not a hoorah type of individual, but he's consistent, and that's something that you look for in a leader. Something that you look for, and one of your top players on the team is somebody that's going to come in and you know what to expect from them. They're going to come in, go to work, and give you their best. Whether you see them or you don't see them, they're giving you their best, and that's Huff. That's Huff, and I'm grateful I get to share the locker room with him. He's going to have a tremendous career, a long career. And we're just happy to have him here, and I'm happy that the rest of the team was able to see what I've been able to see being his locker mate.
Court, can you put into words how different, assuming it is, how different this season feels for you going into a year, coming off the playoffs for the first time ever,
yeah.
Had a nice long career to this point, and with the expectations that the coach says you all embrace it, just how different it is for you compared to every other week one of your entire career?
Yeah, shoes, I think I was actually talking to my buddy about this. Watching college football this past weekend, every team goes into the season saying this is our year. Every team has that mindset, and respectfully so, you should have that mindset going into each season. Each season, you shouldn't say, we might be able to scratch this amount of wins, might be able to scratch that amount of wins. It's like you want to have that mindset that you can go win, but realistically, that's not realistic for every team, And, for us, to put together the pieces that we did over the offseason, whether in free agency or during the draft, and, getting guys that returned back from last year's team, and understanding that, nothing is going to be handed to us. There is no complacency of hey, we made a playoff game. Whoop-de-doo. Like, no one really cares about that. At the end of the day, we work in a business that's, what have you done for me lately? And it's now, last year is wiped clean, and it's about what are we going to do this year? What are we going to do when, ball gets kicked off at 2:10, whatever it may be, on Sunday. The season begins, and it's what are we going to do then? That stamps the beginning of our 2025 season in a sense. But I think that the mindset is chasing that 1% at the end of the day. I know I keep saying the 1%, but I firmly believe in that. It's a daily battle. It's not something that you can't overlook each day. We just had a great practice, and y'all hear me say it all the time. Meetings. We're gonna go in here and watch this film, correct what we did, what we didn't do well, things that we can get better at, attention to the details, and fine tuning this ship so that every bell and whistle is clicking at the way it's supposed to be clicking, and we can go out and play fast.
Court a couple weeks ago, Bo was saying, like, hey, we didn't have a great practice out here. It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. You said, like, that's what you want from your quarterback. Yeah. How much is the mentality that he has just as big a part of what he's able to do as the on-field stuff? Yeah,
shoes. I mean, that honestly backdoors to last question, the mindset of what gives you that idea of, the expectation of going into this year. And, having Bo as our quarterback, I've shared the locker room with some good ones, and guys who've had great careers. And to be able to share the locker room with Bo and to see how much he loves the game of football, man. The dude loves football. He's the definition of like hating to lose more than he wants to win. Like, the dude wants to win football games. Like, that's all. He's like, whatever y'all need me to do, I'll do it so that we can go out there and be successful. And you can see it and how he prepares. The dude's literally over there running gassers right now. Like he is doing whatever he possibly can to be able to put himself in the best position to be successful for us and for himself, but mainly for us. Like, he wants to see everyone have success, and he knows that we can't do anything without him, and he can't do anything without us. And we all, it's literally like a chain. We all work together, and if one link isn't clicking, then there's going to be a weak link in the chain, and so it's going to fall apart. And so to have a leader like that, a guy like Bo leading the way at the quarterback position, man, it's you have no choice but to carry yourself a little bit heavier or higher in a sense. You can't be complacent. You can't be in a sense of, I've arrived at any position. Nobody, no matter who you are, he challenges every single person on our team to be the best version of themselves, and that's what you want out of your quarterback.